Yes, I know I'm unemployed. God. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you happen to be watching this. Welcome back to another episode of FMFC, the People's Series with me, D-Jam. And we've gone 2 years into the future now, so we're at the end of the 4th season. It's time to see where FMFC are, if any players are actually remaining at the club, and where you guys are up to, what kind of wages you're on. Has anybody lifted a trophy? That's what I want to know. So, let's get into it. Let's have a quick check for FMFC. Where are they? FMFC. So, so the previous season to the, because I've obviously gone 2 years into the future. So they won, then they finished 10th, and this year, so last year they finished 3rd. Yeah, got into the playoffs. But this year has been a bit of a struggle for them, and they haven't done particularly well. They've ended up finishing in 12th place. So they've gone a bit backwards, which I possibly would guess means that they've sold some players. If they haven't done that particularly well, maybe they've not, maybe they've lost some of the better players, but we'll have a check about it in a second. Chris Powell is now currently the manager. Really interesting. Old Charlton manager and Derby assistant. So that's a decent move for him. Content with things overall and happy with the team's recent form. So obviously he's managed to pick things up, you would imagine. So let's have a look at the last... Yeah, I mean, look at that. They went on a horrendous run in the league, and I would imagine that's where he's then come in. And he's done actually really well towards the end of the season. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he can get these guys up to the Championship, because I think that's where they belong. Currently under a transfer embargo due to breaches of financial regulations. I would love to know what that is. Whether or not, let's have a look. News. Can you click on news? Let's just see if there's anything. No, it's not going to go back that far for me. That's annoying. But yeah, the club is currently under financial difficulties, which is a real shame. They've built on the stadium, so the stadium's now up to a capacity of 7,661. If Stonemarket had a ground like that in real life, I'd be buzzing. So let's have a look at some of the players and see who's actually remaining. You can see there are a couple of guys who are still here, but let's have a look at the people. So first up is Kyle Snedden. He's still in goal for FMFC. Stats have gone okay in terms of the main goalkeeping attributes. The rest of it needs a little bit of work on there. But you played 40 games this season, conceded 47 with only 9 clean sheets. For some reason, despite you playing all those games, you're only valued at 60,000. You've got another 2 years left in your contract, so realistically, someone needs to buy you in order for your value to shoot up. Curti FM continues to be the backup goalkeeper. This season has played mostly in the under-23s, and stats have kind of just come to a bit of a grind and halt. Did you play much last year? No, you didn't play any games at all last year or the previous year, so FMFC are not using you at all. That's why your stats aren't gone anywhere. Velocity Gaming, incredible, as still here at the club. Considering some of those stats, if you think about it, tackling, passing, marking, first touch, crossing, and the physical attributes, at the age of 22, how are you still here? You've got another 2 years left on your deal at 9.25 grand, valued at 1 million. You've played pretty much every game this season, and you've got 10 player of the matches with a 7.59 average rating. You didn't play as much the previous year, mainly coming off a substitute bench, but you've played over 100 games for FMFC. Dave Azzopardi, who is the key player, as you saw in the previous scheme. Oh, I'm losing the plot. 45 games in total this season, 7.5 average rating, 5 player of the matches, 9 yellow cards, 1 red card. Stats are very, very impressive, and you are currently wanted by Newcastle. So how long you'll be here, I don't know, if I'm being brutally honest. But again, continue to play an amazing amount of games. You're nearly at the 200 mark with FMFC, which is incredible. 21 assists and 31 player of the matches with a 7.54 average rating over 5 seasons. That's very impressive. FM Life has continued to go from strength to strength. The Australian has played quite well. Tackling, marking, heading is now at a decent level. Physical attributes are okay, especially strength-wise is incredibly powerful. Has played 37 games this season with 12 player of the match performances, 7.75 average rating. Currently valued as a key player. Didn't play a lot last season, but this year has got a tremendous amount of games. Matt Slater's still here, and stats have gradually increased. You are getting better. 41 games this season, 2 goals, 8 assists, 3 player of the matches, 7.00 average rating. Stats are going okay, and you are currently wanted by Newcastle again. So Newcastle planning on raiding FMFC this in the summer. And again, no games last year at all, but this year, coming to your own, and stats have progressed very well. That FM regen is still here, still at the club, left midfielder. Stats have gone very, very nicely. Played 42 games this season, 2 goals, 4 assists. No player of the match performances, with a 6.95 average rating, so nearly at the 7 mark. But again, realistically, I think probably another season your stats might go up, or possibly getting a move. Did you play much last year? You played, no, not very many games, most of them coming off a substitute bench. So again, this year you've been used to your full potential. Tom Bleachinho is finally getting back into the team and finally playing some games at centre mid. Sky Bet League One, you've made 30 appearances, 5 goals and 9 assists. That's more like it, and that's what I want to see from you. You were plagued by injuries massively at the beginning of the series, which, as you can see, 4 games in 2 seasons, but last 2 kind of stagnated a bit. But this year, again, you've been used to your full potential. Well done, Tom. Second to last player still at the club is Keepers, our Scottish international. Only scored 7 goals this season. Played 41 times with a 6.62 average rating, so not good at all. But currently wanted by Newcastle again. Jesus, man. Newcastle are just going to raid this team. Last year was a very good season for you. 12 goals and 25 starts is a very, very decent return. But this year, kind of fallen off the wagon. But you have scored 50 goals in 175 appearances for FMFC. I would imagine you're probably a bit of an icon by now. Anybody else left in the team? Yeah, Lucas Cook. You're still here and currently wanted by Plymouth, Preston and Sheffield United. Concentration has gone up to 12, so that's impressive. Physical attributes are very, very good. You've only played 10 games this season for FMFC. Yes, you're in the under 23s, and I can't for the life of me figure out why, because I would have thought with those, you know, the technical sort of main attributes, I thought you should be in and around the team. So that's very, very disappointing. Anybody else left here? No, nobody else is left here. If we have a look at the club's history, let's just have a look at the general screen. So Dave Azzopardi has made himself an FMFC legend. That is absolutely brilliant. The Anchorman is currently an icon, and Toxic Lemon is the favoured personnel. Now, in terms of other things about the team, let's have a look. So the average ticket pricing has gone up. Average season ticket prices have gone up as well. Season ticket holders nearly at the full capacity of what we had the stadium to begin with of 5,000. Media prediction of second and have finished 12th. So really, really disappointing for this, guys. Need to have a massive season next year, but currently under a transfer embargo due to breaches of financial regulations. I'm really annoyed that I can't find out what that is in regards to. So, but yeah, let's have a look at the rest of you guys and see how you're performing. DRK is now playing for Huddersfield, and look at those stats. Goalkeeper wise, easily probably the best one we've got. Relieved to have signed a new contract. You're currently on 56 grand with Huddersfield in the Championship, although they have just been promoted back through to the Premier League. So that's really, really good for you, DRK. You're going to be playing Premier League football next year. Conceded 43 goals and 43 appearances, but keeping 15 clean sheets. Saves parried at 90. Saves tipped at 26. That's an interesting stat. But yeah, doing very, very well. Career-wise, you were playing for FMFC last year and done very, very well in Sky Bet League One, but you were signed up for 7 million by Huddersfield, and as I said, now on a 56 grand a week contract. That's incredible. Cam Clark, currently on loan from Man City at Swansea, and I stand corrected. Cam Clark is now the best goalkeeper. So again, 45 appearances, 51 conceded, 12 clean sheets with a 6.8 average rating. So you were signed by Man City. You were loaned out. So you were loaned out to Burnley, to Barnsley. Then last season didn't do anything at all. But then have been loaned out to Swansea in the Championship and have done very, very nicely. Where did Swansea finish? They finished third, and they're actually in the playoff final, which is this afternoon. So I'm going to forward that in a moment and just see how well you did in the final. GWFM is just performing absolute miracles at Everton. 25.5 value, 25.5 million value, 57 grand a week contract till 2024, and is currently wanted by Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City and Man United. Stats are incredible. 35 appearances, 7.61 average rating. Has just gone from strength to strength after a couple of loan periods. You've done really, really well with Everton and have performed fantastically, so cannot complain with that at all, mate. Alan Connolly is now playing for Wolves. I don't know if you were actually playing for them originally when we first checked this. No, so you were still at FMFC but signed up by Wolves. Played 10 games last year and 21 this year. Stat wise is very, very good. Physical attributes are just absolutely fantastic. But you've done very, very well with Wolves. Did they get relegated? No, they're still in the Premier League, so you're going to have another year in the Premier League at least. That's very, very impressive, mate. Yeah, 5.25 million, 20 grand a week, very nice. So here I am then, valued at 24 million somehow. Christ knows how. Yeah, 24 million, 60 grand a week. Currently playing for West Ham at the Olympic Stadium. 31 appearances in the Premier League, 6 assists. I'm not doing too badly, actually. After a loan spell with Norwich, my beloved Norwich. And yeah, then have played 2 seasons in the Premier League back-to-back. Didn't get very many games last year, mainly coming off the sub-bench. But yeah, doing okay with West Ham, to be honest. McGillvray FM currently playing for Arsenal. Not playing very many games for Arsenal, but you are at Arsenal. 26 grand a week. 28 million, played 12 games this season with 7.25 average ratings. I think it's only a matter of time before you become a full regular starter for Arsenal, because you are very, very good on this game. Had loan spells away from Arsenal after being signed from Celtic. You've played at Derby, then played at Norwich in the Premier League, and you're now back at Arsenal. I think this is probably your breakthrough season, and next year you'll really kick on and make a bit of a name for yourself. Cultured left foot is currently on loan from Tottenham at West Bromwich Albion and has not played any games at all for West Brom. 2 appearances, 13 from the substitute bench, not a great average rating. Was signed for 1.5 million, then loaned straight back to FMFC, has been on loan at West Brom and has not played. I'd probably say you need a decent year in the Championship to beef up some of your stats, and then you can really kick on from this. But yeah, 2.8 million, 29 grand, very, very nice. The FM star is probably the main reason why everyone's wanting to go to Newcastle, because this guy has done very, very well. 55 grand, 19.75 value, in terms of million. Look at those stats. They are impressive for a left back, especially going forward with crossing and dribbling. That is impressive. 24 games for Newcastle this year. Has had quite a few loan spells away from St James's Park, at Reading, at Brighton, and also at Wolves, but has come back to Newcastle, and they are currently sat in 11th place in the table. If they can sign a few more of our guys and get them some Premier League experience, that would be absolutely quality. Mark, with the 7 in the middle, is at 29 million, currently playing for Stoke, and I think at 29 million, that's probably the highest value that I've seen so far. Stat-wise, I don't think you're much better than what I've seen with the players just looking at. But tackling's good, marking's good, first touch is good. Very, very good attributes for a left back. Can get up and down the field. Not so great when it comes to actually getting in the final third, but 26 appearances for Stoke this season. You were at QPR, have done very, very well with them in the Championship, and was signed for big, big bucks. 163 appearances to your name. Very, very nice. Adamski Clarkinho is currently on loan at SLB. Is that Benfica? That is Benfica, isn't it? So currently on loan from Juventus at Benfica. Has played quite a few games in terms of the league appearances. Physical attributes are just absolutely insane. Probably the best I've seen so far as an all-rounder. Tackling, marking and heading, as you would expect. It's these two areas which I think you need to just slightly improve on before you back at Juventus. But had a few loan periods away by the looks of things. Didn't play very many games for Juventus. Had that really bad loan spell at Fulham. Has gone to Sunderland. You've gone to Besiktas. And now you've gone to Benfica. Hopefully now they might start giving you a bit of a chance at your home team with Juventus. Game Affair TV, also another player at Newcastle, despite a composure rating of 4, is currently valued at £18.5 million. Is doing quite nicely. Physical attributes good. Main attributes you want is good aggression at 20. And as a result, has picked up 5 yellow cards this season. But again, loan periods away from Newcastle, Blackburn, Middlesbrough and Aston Villa, all in the Championship. You've had your breakthrough season at Newcastle and have played 21 games. Alex Malloy, another player at Everton, valued at 12 million, is not getting any game time at all at Everton. Has been signed and loaned out, so Watford, Swansea and Hull. But again, come back and has only played 8 times, 4 of those coming off the bench. Attributes are okay, but you need another loan period away, let's be honest. FM Zone, valued at £25.5 million at West Brom, has progressed very well. Was my main centre-back when we were at FMFC and has just gone from strength to strength with West Brom. Has played 32 games for them. West Brom have got relegated though, so that could throw your position in the team at risk. You could be moved on for that because I think you are Premier League quality. Again, has played very, very well with West Brom after signing for quite a small fee, let's be honest. A good loan spell away at QPR and then has just continued to play for West Brom in the Premier League. Home dressing room somehow is valued at over £10 million. I don't know how, because I don't think your stats are that great, mate, if I'm being honest. Very, very accomplished player in terms of physical attributes, your concentration levels, your leadership, your position, your heading, all that kind of stuff like that. Stamina, natural fitness wise, and pace is lacking. Concentration is okay, it's good rather. Composure's not great. Tackling could do a lot of work on, but yeah, playing in the Premier League with Burnley, signed for £6.25 million from FMFC. So you've only just moved away from the club. So that's quite cool. Did Burnley survive? Nope, they got relegated, probably because you were in defence. The Anchorman, who was a hero on the FMFC main page, is now playing for Sunderland, £10.75 million. And again, in terms of the main attributes you want for a winger, he's doing very, very well. Played 24 games this season with another 5 coming off the bench. And again, it's only just recently signed for FMFC for £9 million. Did Sunderland survive? Yes, they did. So you've now got another year in the Premier League with Sunderland. Well done, mate. Bood FM is currently sat on the transfer list and is wanted by Liverpool, Man City and Wolfsburg. Stats are very, very impressive, I have to admit. Currently playing for Reading in the Premier League. They finished bottom and Bood FM is not happy. He wants out and you can understand why. In terms of a defensive midfielder, he's a very, very good, accomplished player. I would imagine, yeah, you've been at Reading the entire time, you got promoted to the Premier League, you've seen the big lights. That's what I want. They've got relegated and you've had I'm done, I'm out of here. So asking price of 11.75 million and you have got some big clubs interested in you. You are going to be on the move this summer. Mr. Beattie continues to apply his trade at Stoke, and again, stats have progressed very nicely. Not getting very many game times though. That is really annoying because you've only played 67 times in total for any of the clubs that you've been at. However, your stats are very, very good. So just imagine how good you could be if you actually got some game time. You are currently wanted by Liverpool, and I hope you just get your move because Stoke have messed you around. Jarve FC is now at Man City, but as you can see, is currently sat in the Man City under-23 team. What a waste of talent. You've got another 2 years left on your contract, so I hope somebody comes out and buys you, or at least tries to loan you. You've had a couple of sort of spells away. Obviously, Burton and West Brom we know about. You played a bit for Crystal Palace in the Premier League, but again, they've just wasted your career. You're currently sat in the under-23s, and I hope for your sake you get a move, because that is just not good. Toxic Lemon is still at QPR. 7.75 value, 14 grand a week, got another 3 years left in the contract, has played 38 games this season, but is currently wanted by Liverpool and by West Ham. He's very, very good on the ball in terms of passing, long shots, first touch, crossing. Very, very accomplished when he's got the ball. Physical attributes need a bit of work. Mental is gradually getting there, but you're playing very, very well with QPR. They finished 18th in the championship, so no wonder you're wanted out. You are currently the vice captain of QPR, which is quite cool. Golden FM is playing for Sporting Kansas City. Has played a few league games. Feel pressured by the interest in him. So who's actually interested? Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, Man United and Newcastle are currently interested, and Golden FM is feeling the strain. It was only signed for 130 grand from FMFC. That is unbelievably cheap. And for the last 2 years has been spent in the MLS, currently playing with Sporting Kansas City. Again, stat-wise, very, very impressive. Mental attributes are just absolutely incredible. Physicals are very good. It's the technicals that could do a bit of work. But you are performing very, very well. FM Gizmo is still at Derby, 1.4 value in terms of, in terms of the actual value. I don't know why I keep doing that. You're valued at 1.4 million. Let's just leave it at that. 27 appearances in the championship. How did Derby do? So they're actually in the player finals. So you could be playing Premier League football next year. So 27 appearances. Has played very, very well, had some good loan periods away from the club, but has come back and has played very, very nicely. AP is still at Man City. Sorry, mate. I know you weren't happy about this last time, but you're currently on loan at Tottenham. You played 8 games, 14 substitute appearances, so Tottenham are kind of using you, but not too much. But again, stat-wise, is progressing quite nicely. Not amazing, but it is progressing quite nicely. Did you have any other loan periods away? Yes, you were on loan at Sunderland. You have to let me know how you feel about these last 2 moves, AP. Sunderland and Tottenham. Were they good moves for you? Do you like the clubs? Because I know you don't like Man City and you don't like Leeds. So let me know about that, mate. Dupe is currently playing for CF Monterrey in the Mexican League. Valued at £6 million. Well, I suppose 12 games, so you're probably halfway through the MLS season in real life. Was signed for 7.75 million from New York. Just absolutely insane. I hope Dupe does come back this way in terms of the UK performances, because then I can actually have a proper look at how he's doing. But stat-wise, has progressed amazingly. I actually really, really like Dupe's attributes on this game. Physical-wise, is just incredible. Technicals is gradually getting there. I think it's the mentals that could probably do with a little bit of work on. Just FM Saves is playing for Watford. Well, I say you're playing for Watford. You're not playing for Watford. You've had 2 Premier League appearances, majority of it coming in the under-23s, and you've just been wasted again. Had good loan periods away from the club. You've been at MK Dons, you've been at Hull, you've been at Blackburn, and you've been at Huddersfield. Other than the Hull move, you've done very, very nicely. Come back to Watford, and again, just an absolute waste of a season. Andrew Rogers is on loan from Arsenal at Everton, and again, winger attributes are exactly what you want. 11.5 valued. It's in terms of, sorry, again, I keep doing this. Why do I keep doing that? 11.5 value. Has scored 1 goal, 5 assists in 17 appearances. Is doing quite well in terms of who else you play for. You played for Newcastle last year and Swansea the year before that. I think another loan spell away and you could really break into the Arsenal team. Kimrez on loan from Liverpool at Blackburn, and I have to say is amazing attributes. 43 games, 11 goals and 2 assists at Blackburn. Had a loan period away as well at Aston Villa. Is now going to be your breakthrough season with Liverpool. Are they finally going to play you? Or are they going to loan you out to a Premier League team? Who knows, but you've done very, very well over the last 2 seasons. Just my plays, attributes, mate, you have done really well. They've gone up incredibly well, and you're still on loan at NAC. Was it NAC you were at last time? Yeah, look at those loan periods away. Every single year, Man City just loaned you out. And I think it's to try and deal with this work permit issue, because it is still a bit of a problem. Has ambitions to play in and win the Premier League. Ooh, sorry, mate, that's incredibly rude. I'm so sorry. If I'm being honest, I don't know what the work permit situation is like. When is your contract expiring with Man City? So you've still got another year left on your contract. Whether or not they will give you another year left, I do not know. Now I'm going to hold my hands up and say that Fried Badger Gaming is my favourite player of the series by a mile. Although you have let me down massively. 2 goals and 1 assist this season for West Brom. Again, you've had some good game time out online, but just not done much in terms of goals and assists. Easily your best year was with Fulham a couple of years back. But stat-wise, is very, very impressive. You just need to get some more attributes for you, more stat-wise, and then you'll be able to go and actually play well for Chelsea. Sergeant Ferb is another player who is at Burnley, 11.5 million value, 30 grand a week contract, and has scored 8 goals in 36 appearances for Burnley. And currently in the public domain, he wants to leave the club due to getting relegated. That is absolutely fair play. Runs with the ball down the right, plays short, simple passes, nice and easy attributes, and is currently wanted by Tottenham. So I would imagine you'll get your move to them. You were bought by Burnley, loaned out to Sheffield Wednesday, didn't play. Loaned out to Newcastle, didn't play. Scored 13 goals in the Championship for Burnley and has done quite well in terms of the league attributes. But it's the striker attributes, the proper poacher attributes that is doing very, very well for you, and I think you can get a big move. I think you will get a big move and you'll continue to flourish. And the last player that is on the list is Kappers, who is currently on loan from Chelsea at Swansea and is playing amazingly well. Has ambitions to play in and win the Premier League, and he's doing quite well. 13 goals in 35 appearances for Swansea, who are the team that are playing in the player final. They have got Steven Gerrard as their manager. That's just awesome. I might just go a little bit further and just see who wins this final. Derby ended up winning the playoff final. How did our guys do? Kappers did not play well. 6.3 average rating. Did anybody else play for Swansea? No. Did anybody? FM Gizmo got 7.4 rating and then was then subbed. Let's just go and have a look to see who has won what trophies in recent times. So in terms of the Premier League, Man United won it this year. We haven't got any players at Man United, so we don't need to worry about that. Let's just see who is. Let's have a look. Awards, history, past winners. So Arsenal won it the year before. I think we've got 1 or 2 players at Arsenal, haven't we? So we've got McGilvery. Does it show up on his achievements? I suppose because he didn't play enough game time with Arsenal. So you got runners-up in the Community Shield. That's quite interesting, I guess. So in terms of the English FA Cup, then that's been won by fairly routine winners. Chelsea, we haven't got any players at Chelsea. So we can't even check that, so that's not good. Let's have a look at the League Cup. Is that even going to come up as a competition? No, it's not. So let me just go through a bit of an EFL Cup. That's why I can't find it, because it's called the EFL Cup. So past winners, West Ham. Oh, I play for West Ham. Does it come up? Does it come up with something? Achievements. Yeah! So I'm the first person to win something on the series. I won the EFL Cup with West Ham and finishes runners-up in the Euro Cup. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. So anyway, trophies aside, let's go back to the player shortlist and have a look at some interesting stats. So in terms of contract then, who is on the most? Value-wise is Mark, McGilvery, FM Zone. Quite a few of you now have reached the 20 million bracket. In terms of who's on the most wages, that is McGilvery, followed by myself, which is quite interesting. Who's on the lowest? So a lot of the guys at FMFC, as you would imagine. Lucas Cook is the lowest, but his contract has expired and I hope he gets a move away. Whose deals expire? Nobody's expires this summer other than Lucas, who has already expired, but a lot of the FFC guys, Bood FM, Just Smoke Plays and Andrew Rogers, have got their contracts expiring in 2022, so that'll be quite cool to see where those guys end up. In terms of international, then let's have a look. So youth appearances, we've all now reached that age where we're going to be coming out of the youth system, but who has got the most? It's Mr. Beattie, followed by Andrew Rogers, Adamski Clarkinho for Italy, Fried Badger Gaming, Sergeant Ferb, etc, etc, etc. Who has got the most youth goals? Let's just click on that. That would be Sergeant Ferb and Cappers, followed by Rogers and Fried Gaming. In terms of goals, caps for their country, Dupe at the top with South Africa. Dave Azzopardi, Just My Plays and Lucas Cook. The two Scottish guys are up there as well, Golden FM, FM Life. And then GWFM is actually in the England squad and has got 10 appearances. Goal-wise, who's scored the most? It is Cappers, who's got 2 in 4 for England. Keepers has got 2 in 5 for Scotland. And Just My Plays has got 2 for Gibraltar. So only 3 players have actually scored at an international level. Let's just have a look at the England squad and see how many of our guys are in and around that team. Oh, just myself. Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's annoying. Under 21s, pretty much most of our guys are in there. Most of our guys are in and around that. Under 20s, no one's in that. Under 19s, I doubt any of our players. Yeah, they've all gone beyond that age now. So we've only got the one player in there, which is me. I honestly didn't think I'd be that good when the actual, when we had a look at the players originally. So yeah, that reaches the end of the second or fourth season rather. Let's see if anybody can go on to the next level now. We're going to progress another 2 years into the future, so our guys are going to be at the age of 24 when they really should have made their mark on the game now, got themselves to a decent team, and really pushed on their game from there. So that'll be interesting to have a little bit of a look at. If you guys have enjoyed the video as normal, please hit the like button, please subscribe, that would be absolutely awesome. Leave me a note down in the comment section about how you think your player is playing. Or if you haven't actually, if you're not part of the series, let me know what player you're following in particular, and if there's any other kind of things you want me to show you in future videos. So as always on the channel, until next time, adios.